Hello everyone, welcome to another stream. And right now we're going to be flying the Kodiak 100 for on-air career. So let's bring out our on-air airline manager tool right here, and we can see one job is already pending, and that is, I think, the level up job that's still pending. I'm not sure why they gave me this. I didn't pick it, but we still have time, I believe. Yeah, we should have a lot of time. So our goal is, right now we are currently, if we see on the map, we are somewhere over here. So let me go to the live map. So right now we are in Washington County Airport, and we are trying in Pennsylvania, and we're trying to get towards New York. So while we're doing our jobs, we are going to fly towards it. Let's see what's this job. I think I have to actually go to home, and let's go jobs. I think I was there already. Never mind. Okay, logistics center, and we'll choose about 150 nautical miles max. I don't want to go too far. We'll select the Kodiak 100 as our profile, and let's do the query. So we'll try to find jobs that's towards the east instead of west. So let's see. KHMZ. What is this? Ooh, the item is dangerous material. We can do that, or let's see if we have anything further. Nothing further than that. Okay, I guess this is the one that we're gonna do for this stream, and it's dangerous material, so let's go ahead, take it on. Now if you go to our live map, also let me quickly check our fuel and our weight balance page. So we have 50% as default. We're gonna change that value. So let's go ahead and prepare our aircraft. I'll bring that on the center. So we have about 24, so around range of 283 nautical miles. How far is this? 82. So we should be good with the fuel, but I had a really bad experience earlier, so we're just gonna fix that a little bit. We'll load everything up. So we are gonna have 676 pounds. So right now if we go, fuel is 1000, so we don't need that much, so we're gonna lessen it to about as much as we can match. So 696 works for me. So let's go ahead over here. Also I forgot to drag my screen, but yeah. And for payload, we know we have 997, so we're gonna set that up, trying to keep it on center. So let's set up on the back cargo, we'll put 150. On the row towards our right, we'll put 100 pounds. Row to our left, we'll put around 100 pounds as well. How much do we have payload? 690 we already have, so we need around 1000. So then we're gonna go our row 2 on our right. We'll set about 100 pounds there, and I'll actually remove the co-pilot, so we have 0 here. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move these two to about row 3 left, so I'll put 100 here, and row 1 left will have 100. Row 2 left will have 100. I don't know why it's not deleting. Like, come on, why is it so fiddly in here? Okay, there you go. We have 890. We just need a little bit more, so we're gonna just go ahead and put 100 here, and I'm going to remove my co-pilot, which means we'll put about 100 at the back, and then we're gonna increase over here. So we're gonna go and put 150 here and 150 here. That should really do it. We can maybe put 120 here and 120 here. So 910. I think I can increase just a little bit more. 80 and 80. Yeah, this should really do it. Yeah, we're still within the limit, so we should be good. And we have 970. Just 20 more, so I'm gonna go ahead and make this 200. Yep, there you go. Yeah, now this is good. We can see if we go inside, we have everything. Look at that. Everything full. Okay, before anything, let me go ahead, validate our fuel and payload. So everything's set. It's gonna take about a minute, and while we're on that, let's go ahead and turn on our master switch, avionics bus switch. We checked everything else was good, so we're gonna turn our nav lights on, and we are going to take out these two to one of my screens to have better view. Okay, let's go ahead, turn that on. So the first thing that we are about to do is set up our flight plan once we have everything fueled up and the tracking is started. About 0.2 minutes and then we should be good. One thing that I love to do is take out my standby altimeter, and we are going to okay, that is in. Fuel firewall goes in. I haven't been flying this one just for a little bit, so struggling a teeny tiny bit. Okay, we are about to start tracking, so we have everything. Fuel is good on board, and we can go ahead and start tracking. So we'll get the meter information. We can get it from flight data over here, or we can just go on our MFD while we are setting everything up. We can do it there as well. Okay, so let's go ahead first set the flight plan, for which we are going to go to our MFD and we're gonna go flight plan. I don't know, the display looks a little bit dim. I'm not sure where to increase the brightness of that. Okay, we'll leave it how it is. So flight plan, and then let's go at origin. So currently we are in Kilo Alpha Foxtrot Juliet. So Kilo Alpha Foxtrot Juliet. Okay, and let's go ahead, look at the meter information over here. 210, gusting 18 knots and 30 knots. Okay, runway 27, I guess this is the only one that we have available due to the weather. And for our destination, we are going to Kilo Hotel Mike Zulu. So Kilo Hotel Mike and Zulu. So there you go. Let's press enter. Now looking at the weather from there, it's 270 at 10, gusting 17 knots. So let's see what runway we can have. 27, I guess 32 is the one that we can favor a little bit, even though we're gonna have some crazy crosswinds. And we'll go to procedure. We are going to select an approach, and the approach that we're gonna select is, we can go RNAV 332, or we go visual 32. Very confused. We can just go visual. Or should we go RNAV? Well, let's go at RNAV, and then we are going to get it. So initially we'll get the THS, and then we'll just move to Alpha Sierra Uniform Tango Echo. So we're just gonna cross there, and for minimums we'll set radio altimeter of 350 feet. Should be good. Let's go ahead and load that in. Okay, now that we have our flight plan loaded, let's go ahead to our MFD and set up our autopilot system. So first of all, what is our altimeter? To find that, we can, well, for now I'll just look at my on airline manager, and it says altimeter 3027. I can just press the B key, 3027. We are going to be, let's see, 2000, 3000. We can go up to 8000, and we are gonna go 8000. We'll turn on our VS, vertical speed hold. We'll initially climb at 1500 feet, and we're gonna have our nav on, so we can press the CDI button and we have our GPS on. Our heading can go ahead, and right now it is 56. We are going to be taking runway 27, which one's heading is 272. So let's set our heading to 272. There you go. We have our runway setting here. What else? Altimeter is set, autopilot is set, so we are good to go. So let's go ahead, turn on our beacon light, and we are ready for engine start. So engine start is going to be very simple. We have our beacon on, we are checking our battery is minimum 24, we have already 25, so we are good with that. Our beacon is on, nav lights are on, so let's go ahead. It's going to be super simple. We're going to turn our auxiliary fuel pump, we will turn our ignition, and our starter will go to low, so we'll have a low motor start. Should be good. So let's go ahead, auxiliary fuel pump, ignition, and low, and now we're gonna watch the NG rise. Once it reaches minimum 14%, we'll put our fuel condition lever to low idle. So there you go. Now we'll wait for the NG to reach greens, and we'll put our propeller max, and we can turn off all our starter, ignition, and auxiliary fuel pump. So there you go, we are at greens. Starter can come to off, ignition off, and auxiliary fuel pump to standby. Propeller can go to max, generator, alternator, and avionics bus can come on. So we do have a clean start, just waiting for the RPM. Okay, RPM is almost to greens. Next, let's set up our flaps for takeoff. So flaps 20 for takeoff, and we can set our yaw damper on. What else? I think we are good here, so we'll just turn on our taxi light and head towards our runway. So we'll take this taxiway right here all the way to the end of the runway, and then we'll line up and go for a takeoff. So let's go ahead. Parking brake comes off, power just a little bit. The stream I did before this one was the East Coast bush trip. Make sure to watch that. I'm having ton of fun flying the Piper Aero 4 by Just Flight. It's very, very fun to fly. Very different compared to the Kodiak. In Kodiak, it's more it's very much about, like, you know, using the avionics a lot. G1000 makes everything so simple and easy. But on the other hand, in the PA28, it's all about really you know, going just old school. And I'm flying VOR, so VOR to VOR, which is really fun and something new that I haven't tried. Okay, we are almost at the holding short point for the runway, so we're gonna wait here and do our final checks. So parking brake can come on. So before takeoff, landing and strobe light can come on, taxi light can go off, auxiliary fuel pump will come on, and fuel condition will go to high. Now that we have that, flaps is set, we'll take off the parking brake, and let's go ahead. I'll set my rudder trim just a little bit, not too much, so that should do it. a lot of right rudder needed, and we're gonna lift off in just a bit. So there you go.
Airborne time logged.
Auxiliary fuel pump can go off or standby. Flaps is slowly going to come up. We're a little bit heavy, so we'll take it slow for climb. And flaps up. And there's some strong winds as well. Yep, there's almost 20 knots of winds coming from there. Going to turn on my autopilot right here. Yeah, there you go. Okay, we have it on autopilot. I think pitot heat should come on. Yep, there you go. So everything is pretty set. I'm going to go and activate my procedure here. And there you go, we are on our way. We're climbing in at about 108 knots. We're gonna try to stay around 100 knots for climb for Kodiak. So this is going to be fun. Outside temperature is 0. So our top of descent once we start cruising should be around 30 minutes away. And before anything, what we're gonna do is let me just show you while I do it. So we're gonna go to flight plan. Yeah, we were already there, and we'll select this waypoint and we're gonna press direct to, and we will activate. So there we go. This way we're cutting a lot of waypoints. We'll straight up go there, and then from there we'll just go for a landing. So it seems like we'll just take a left hand turn and then we'll be lined up with the runway. Yeah, sounds good to me. This plan sounds good to me. So our top of descent will be in about 30 minutes. Let me quickly do some stuff here. I'll lower my vertical speed just a little bit to have that speed right around 105 knots. Beautiful. We are almost at our cruising altitude, and we are about 87 nautical miles away from our waypoint. We have to be very careful with our whatever we are transporting, because it clearly says on the thing, it clearly says on OnAir Manager that it's very dangerous material. So for our landing we definitely have to be very, very careful. I'm gonna cut on my throttle just a little bit. We are about to hit our cruising altitude, and it is beautiful outside. It was all white behind us, as you can see, and in front of us it's not too bad. And look at this beautiful plane. I love this. I really love flying this. And finally, I have the 2G aircrafts that I'm really gonna enjoy. One with some advanced avionics like the Kodiak 100 with G1000 NXI, and the other one, the Just Flight PA-28 Piper Arrow, which is old school with steam gauges. And I really enjoy flying VFR and flying VR to VR. If you check my other stream, you'll see I've started a new bush trip. It's down the east coast, so we're gonna go all the way from Long Island MacArthur Airport in Long Island, New York to Key West, Florida. It is gonna be over multiple legs, and mostly we're flying single VOR, sometimes double, but this is just the starting point, because once we are done with that bush trip, I have planned many more to come, and more enjoyable and scenic ones as well. So we're about 21 minutes away. It's going down pretty fast, so about 15-20 minutes we are going to hit our top of descent, and from there it is going to be an easy one. Hopefully the winds are not gonna cause too much trouble. At least that's what I'm hoping. So let's see, we are cruising at 140 and increasing the speed a little bit. We'll try to stay around 150 to 160, not exceeding 160 knots. We are only at about 8,000 feet. Look, in the back we are fully tucked in. If we move a little bit more, you can see almost everything is almost full. Well, let's see in the back. I think some of the stuff were in the cargo compartment, and some of the stuff are right over here. So this looks good. Let's go back to our seat, and nice. Some winds coming from our tail. I think the landing is gonna be a little bit tough with the crosswind, but we have to make sure that we land with a good G-force around 1.0, and not really too hard of a landing. That's what I can hope for, or else it's gonna ruin our entire mission. Can I increase my power just a bit more? So we crossed the speed of 150 knots. So right now the top of descent is around 16 minutes away, and what I usually like to do, I'll show you right here. So I'll use the VNav. So this is our initial approach fix. This was our initial, but we removed it. So this is going to be our initial approach fix that we are going to we have to be about 4,000 feet over there, and then the next point, Agovi, is our final approach fix, which is 3,200. So what I'm going to do is when we are about 5-6 minutes away from our top of descent, I will set my altitude to around, I would say, 2,800 or 3,000 feet, so we give ourselves that room. And we are just gonna press the VNav button, and we'll just descend down up to the final approach fix, and then we can just hand fly it for the remainder of the landing. And we're at 160 knots, 150, 160. So far no problems, we are cruising pretty nice and heading towards our destination airport in about 20 minutes, with top of descent being 14 minutes away. The winds are really strong coming in from tail. Let's look at the winds. Come on, yeah, here you go. So about 36 knots. Oh my god, the crosswind is gonna be terrible if that's how it keeps. Also, let's set our altimeter to our destination airport, which there are multiple ways to find it out. There is OnAir Manager, but also I'll show you the other way. So we can just go over here, go down all the way to our destination, and here you can see the altimeter right here. So 3022. So we'll set that. We're gonna go back to our PFD. 3022 is our altimeter. There you go. 3022 is set. Okay, I think I did something by mistake. 8000. There you go. And we're good. In terms of our engine instruments, everything's on green, T's are on greens, and N's are on greens. Everything is looking real good here, so we can leave that on the side. So descent checklist, let's go through that. It's not much. We already set our altimeter, we already went through our approach procedure, which is basically we chose RNAV, yeah, so we should be able to use the glide path if we want to, and then that should be good. For the landing checklist, we have to make sure the yaw damper is off. We'll put our flaps full down, auxiliary fuel pump will come on, and the rest will be a smooth landing, hoping. A little bit of fluffy clouds up front of us. So yeah, once again, guys, make sure to watch my previous stream of the start of a new bush trip down the east coast. It's also on my YouTube channel, which is Zulu Alpha 9er7. So definitely make sure to subscribe on the YouTube channel to follow along on all the videos, because once I finish my stream, it exports to my YouTube channel for everyone to enjoy. There's something about this plane that really makes me love it more and more. The more I fly, I really enjoy flying it. Like, there is no like, oh, I'm bored of it. There is no getting bored of Kodiak 100. It is an absolute delight to fly, and 100% my favorite GA aircraft when it comes to instruments like G1000. But yeah, you can fly this anywhere. You can fly this for bush trips, you can fly this for anything, honestly. It's very versatile, it's very modern, and it can take you to distance. Yeah, that's something that I can say for sure. Okay, let's go ahead. Top of descent in about 10 minutes. Seems like we are going towards icy area one more time, a snowy area, and leaving the greenery behind us. So less than 10 minutes left. Let's go to our PFD, and what we're gonna do is we are going to set our altitude to, what did we decide, 3000. Yeah, 3000 should do good, and we will turn on our VNAV. So the VNAV button, let me just quickly show you. is right behind that altitude selector. So you see right there, it lit up right now. I have it mapped on my Bravo throttle quadrant, so I just use that. And the way you know that you're on your VNAV or your VNAV is on is basically VPath will be armed. It won't be activated until we reach top of descent, but it will be armed. And in order to get it armed, you have to make sure that you select the altitude lower than your cruising altitude, because sometimes it just doesn't, like in the beginning when I didn't know this, I would press VNAV and it's not activating. I'm like, what's going on? Well, you have to make sure that your altitude, your selected altitude, is less than your cruising altitude or current altitude, and then you can turn on your VNAV. So distance 47 nautical miles and about 8.5 minutes. If I see that the winds are very strong, maybe initially I'll put my aircraft into glide path for final descent, and then whenever we reach our descent altitude, which will be 320 feet above the ground, 350 feet above the ground, and then we can take manual control. And if the winds are calm, then it's gonna be a beautiful. It's always fun to fly this aircraft. I'm not 100% sure when Microsoft will add the weather properly, because right now it seems like certain parts they're like completely white, but then other parts they're like completely green, and I think it's only the winter that has been added for now. I'm really excited about what they're gonna do with the seasons like spring and summer, fall. We'll see how this game develops itself. So far I'm really pleased with everything that has been done to the simulator, and the third party add-ons, this aircraft by Simwork Studios and Just Flight came up with FS Traffic recently, which was really good. I already have it, and Just Fly have their Piper add-on. I really love it. I have the Phoenix PMDG as well. So, and obviously the free fly-by-wire, an amazing add-on. Until I got the Phoenix, I used to fly that always, and even now sometimes I do fly. I don't stream it, but mostly if I have to fly A320, I do fly the Phoenix one. Also sometimes I do like to fly CRJ series, really fun planes to fly, similar to. So if you do like to do a lot of work on the flight, then I would highly recommend like CRJ for airlines, and the Just Flight PA 28 for general aviation aircraft, the GA aircrafts. And Kodiak is obviously both. You can have as many things as you want on, but at the same time you can also have you can also reduce your workload, like how I do it using the G1000 properly. We're 5 minutes away from our top of descent, just getting ready. Our checklist altimeter is set, approach procedure is set and accounted for, and the rest will, well, once we cross a suit waypoint, the next one, we will put our flaps to, let me just for once and for all properly see. Okay, so we have flaps 10, 20 and 35. Okay, So once we cross the next waypoint, we are going to go for our flaps 10, and then once we are about to hit, or we hit final approach fix, we'll put our flaps to 20, and then right at our final descent, we'll put our flaps to 35. Auxiliary fuel pump will come on, and we'll have a soft landing. Fingers crossed. But yeah, right now we are cruising along very fine. So let's go ahead, quickly check our meter information for destination one more time. So destination 280, 13, gusting at 22 knots. We're gonna have like a complete crosswind. So 280 would be somewhere from around here, or yeah, somewhere from around here. So strong crosswind landing. Not excited about that, but we might use the glide path from our RNAV approach initially, and then once I feel comfortable enough before our destination altitude, we will go ahead and manually fly the landing. So the meter is not looking too good. Our altimeter is set, and we are 3 minutes away from our top of descent. So once we start hitting our top of descent, we'll bring down the power. Once we get to our first waypoint, Asute, we are going to put our flaps to 10. Once we are very close to our final approach fix, flap goes to 20. Once we cross final approach fix, flaps 35. Auxiliary fuel pump will come on, and hoping we're gonna have a safe landing. Also, from our on-air manager, let's bring it up. So whatever we are flying, chemicals, it's very dangerous, as we saw earlier. So we have to make sure that our landing is smooth. That is the whole point, basically. If they give you some dangerous material, especially if it's chemical, you have to have a really smooth landing. So let's hope for the best, and we're gonna find out in like 10 minutes. Look at that tailwind, 35 knots. Oh my god. Okay, let's set our heading knob to our runway heading, which is 316. So we're gonna have 316. If that's honestly our, I mean, yeah, we should have crossed a little bit of headwind. I hope so. I really hope so. But I mean, right now it's coming in at 265. It's gonna get a little bit closer to about 28. So somewhere over here. No, right from here. So we'll be landing here, and the wind is gonna be coming from here, 280. We're a minute and a half away from our top of descent, so I'm gonna start pulling the power back a little bit. We're already at 162 knots, so we'll try to descend at about 150, max 155, but we'll try to keep it around 145 to 150 knots. Our VNAV is armed, so the moment we cross over our top of descent, which is gonna be in less than a minute, we will start descending down. Pulling my power back, trying to get the aircraft to about 155 knots right before we hit top of descent. Kodiak 100 is not really that sophisticated of a plane. It's just that you need to do your homework. You do need to read the manual, the pilot's handbook, just a little bit if you do have time, though. That's the whole thing. If you do have time and you wanna learn this aircraft, which I highly recommend, it is absolutely so fun to fly once you understand everything. So about 155, and we are on VPAT. There you go. If you can see on the PFD right here, our VPAT is activated, and we'll try to bring back our power just a little bit more. We initially started descending at about 1000 feet, I would say. The winds are very strong, so we'll keep on changing. Our bottom of descent will be in about 4 minutes. Gotta keep a check on the speed. Because of the wind, it's gonna be very variable. The power, we'll have to set the power according to whatever winds we are getting hit by, especially we have tailwinds and Kodiaks do not like tailwind. So you can see the speed really jumping around. Went from 158 to 144 real quick. Look at that. That tailwind is really pushing it down. This path right here looks like there are like two mountains that have a small peak just similar to this. Okay, gotta be very careful. The speed is hitting 160 even though my power is cut back so much. We're literally at the lower end of our torque and NG, but still because of the tailwind we're getting pushed really hard. Zooming in on our MFD. So once we hit the bottom of descent, we'll put our flaps to 10. And our flap speed for 10 is 138 knots. So also gotta keep that in mind. The airport should be somewhere on our left. I still haven't seen it, but it should be somewhere on our left. Okay, we're getting to 130 knots, so keep my speed, controlling the power. It's honestly fun. So we're about to hit our bottom of descent while we are turning and lining up with the runway. Our speed is really good. I really want to keep it around 100 or less than 138 knots for our flap setting. So I'm gonna keep my power lever right there. There you go. We're gonna take our left hand turn to line up with the runway. The wind is gonna bother us a lot. If we pass through those two mountains, that's gonna look dope. 130 knots, so flap goes to 10. I'm also going to arm our approach mode, which is going to give us glide path. So if we go to our PFD, we can see right over here glide path is also armed. Watching my speed there. Oh, beautiful, beautiful scenery in front of us. We are overshooting the speed of the flap, so we gotta make sure we stay within 130 knots, because for our next flap our speed has to be below 120 knots. So we'll try to stay within 120 knots as we go. The wind is coming from our left, and that is why our nose is kind of facing the wrong direction from what it should. I think the airport is right after those hills that we see right there. I think we'll capture the glide slope pretty short. I'm just a tad bit nervous because I don't see the airport at all. Or is it that white strip right there? Not really sure. Okay, watch out for the speed. It could be that white strip that we see over there, most likely. And are we not descending, or what's happening? Speed, we are going to descend, try to capture the glide slope. There, for some reason, sometimes it doesn't capture the glide slope. Like, see, we are already missing it, so we're on V speed now. We're gonna try to descend a little bit fast, and our flaps can come to 20. Oh, it's our alt capture that's bothering us. Yep, it is definitely that white strip. So we do have time to get down. We're gonna cut our power. It became a bit of a mess here. I think I'm just gonna hand fly this for the rest. Yep, the winds are very, very strong. So we are on our glide path, there you go. And we can put our flaps to full, auxiliary fuel pump can come on, your damper can go off. So we're on our glide path, and once we hit our radio altimeter, we will turn off the autopilot and we'll go for a landing, a manual landing. That wind is nasty. Ooh. Descending very fast here. I don't know what the aircraft is doing, honestly, so I'm just gonna manually fly it. It's most probably because of the wind, but that looked very gnarly. Did not feel comfortable at all. The entire runway is snow. And we are low, as we can see on the lights. I really hope the landing is smooth, or else all this hard work is gonna go in vain. We can do it, come on. We got this. Yep, we are on line with the runway. Whoa, I don't want to slam it. Yeah. Come on, get down, get down.
Landing time logged.
Okay, we got down, but we are going out of the runway now. Well, we'll see how that went, but that was terrible. I just went out of the runway. This is what happens when there's so much wind. Terrible, but at least we survived. Nothing broke. No notification from OnAir Manager, but that was terrible. Wow, I went out of the runway. If that was real life, ooh, I was dead. Poof. You know what? As long as the aircraft didn't break in the simulator, we are good. So let's find our GA parking lot, which is probably behind us. So we'll take the next taxiway. Auxiliary fuel pump can come off. Flaps can go up. And shortly we're gonna turn off our landing and strobe. Yep, taxi lights can come on. And we'll take another left here to head to our general aviation ramp, which I hope is on that side. It looks like on the map. But wow, that was not a good landing. Maybe the touchdown was smooth, but we just went off the runway after that. I mean, it's a Kodiak as well. I could have landed on the grass. As long as we didn't slam our plane on the ground and broke whatever we had back in the cargo, we are good. And we're gonna find out our vertical speed of landing and whether it was smooth or really hard. But that wind, oh no 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 no. What am I doing? What just happened? Wow. Okay, what just happened? I'm so confused. Oh, this got terribly wrong. Oh, what is happening with this? I guess I have to be light on the rudder. Well, somehow we survived that. Wow, that was terrible. Fuel condition lever to low idle. And we should shut off our engine. So pitot can come off, auxiliary bus can come off, generators, alternators can go off, auxiliary fuel pump can go off, taxi lights off, nav lights off, and engine is off.
Engine off time logged.
Well,
The
let's
flight
see
is
the
finished.
damage.
It has been monitored by OnAir.
Beacon will go off as well. Well, according to OnAir Manager, everything was good. We had a very smooth landing. Nobody saw what happened on the taxiway, so our cargo is good. I don't know how, but okay. Well, landing rate was -82, which was not bad considering all the winds and everything. And other than that, it was a successful flight, guys. We did it. And thank you for watching the stream. It will be on the YouTube, even though we made such an embarrassing mistake of almost literally putting our plane sideways. I gotta be careful next time. Well, this was really fun, and I hope you guys enjoyed it as well, and I hope you guys learned something about Kodiak 100. And if there's any questions, leave it on the comment or chat, and I'll see you in the next one.